Rocky has been a mainstay in cinemas ever since 1976 when Sylvester Stallone made a name for himself as the writer and star of Rocky. About a boxer and a loan shark, Rocky Balboa was an underdog, a grounded, believable, likeable character who was given the opportunity of a lifetime. The result was history. The series started out as a gritty, realistic boxing drama, slowly turning into a glitzy, stylish sports film. Some of the entries continued to push what was possible, going beyond believability and focusing more on the style and the action than on the characters and the drama. Then, they continued to make them, returning things back to some level of reality as Stallone grew older and wiser. And then, they started making spin-offs. The quality of these iconic films is all over the place, from Rocky to Creed 3. These are the Rocky films from worst to best, ranked.
That man to fight, and if he refuses, then you gotta insult him, you gotta dog him, you gotta humiliate him, you gotta do whatever you got to do to get him into that ring. Tell me you're a piece of garbage, you know that?
No! That's it! You told him I'd fight anywhere, anytime.
In the ring, Tommy Gunn only fights in the ring.
My ring's outside.
Yeah? Let's do it.
Rocky V is a controversial one. Rocky V returns Rocky to his roots, going back to basic, ground level and more believable reality. This time around, Rocky has hung up his gloves and after a financial mishap, he must start over. He takes on a new protege, which angers his son, and they try to mix things up a bit with the final fight taking place in the streets. There are some bad moments in this movie, like the street fight, the obvious rivalry and the twist, and some of the story elements feel very forced and unnatural. This is where it seemed as though the franchise had come to an end, having ran out of steam and ideas. But its return to reality, to more grounded filmmaking, was appreciated.
Breathe. Don't be scared.
Get up, you son of a bitch!
All those fighters you beat them with heart!
Get up! Get up!
Get up.
Rocky IV is all about style. It's a short, simple movie with a focus on muscle-bound boxers and their impending fight. The mid-film death of Apollo Creed adds some emotional depth to matters and some internal conflict for Rocky. But beyond that, Rocky IV is a shallow and obvious attempt to cash in on the Cold War. It has some of the best music and montages ever put into film, as well as some fun moments, but there's also a bizarre robot and not enough story or character moments to make it more than surface level fun. A director's cut came out much later and improved on things a little bit.
Now, when we fought, you had that eye of the tiger, man, the edge. And now you gotta get it back. And the way to get it back is to go back to the beginning. You know what I mean?
United Artists and Chartoff Winkler proudly present Rocky III.
Rocky III is where things start to lose it a bit. Newcomer Clubber Lang, played by the iconic Mr. T, shows up on the scene and begins decimating his opponents. Naturally, as the champion, Rocky must face off against the man, and that's what happens. This is the Rocky film where entertainment takes over, where the 80s style and flair become much more apparent, where the training montage really became a thing. Sylvester Stallone plays a caricature of Rocky Balboa too, barely resembling the grounded, believable character of the first two films. Rocky III is short, simple and entertaining, with some emotional moments, but it's very different from the first two entries.
Now you know what you're fighting for.
you learn more about yourself. And when I stepped in that ring, it wasn't all about me.
After becoming the champ, Creed needed a new challenger. Enter the son of Dolph Lundgren's Drago, and we have a film that's both a sequel to Creed and a sequel to Rocky IV. This one is again grounded, gritty and realistic, with a greater emphasis on past trauma and events thanks to the rivalry between Drago and Rocky. This Creed has more weight and higher stakes than the first one, but less hype, and it's only let down by some pacing issues and a sense of been there, done that. Otherwise, it's a very good film and an equally impressive sequel.
I need you to let go of your fear. Let go of the guilt. Let go of whatever was and walk into what is.
I feel those chains are breaking, yeah. I fear God, I don't fear death. I see those stripes and take a step.
Like Sylvester Stallone, Michael B. Jordan wanted to pull double duty and be the actor and director of his own movie, Creed 3. This time around, the fights take on anime inspirations, with cool visuals and a focus on strategy and targeting. For the first time, it's not just about hitting your opponent hard. Plus, a friend turned rival returns to Creed's life, intent on taking what he's owed. The big problem with Creed 3 is that Creed himself is portrayed in a very negative light. In many ways, he's the bad guy, and yet the film struggles to justify his actions and make him the hero. Ultimately, the style and the entertainment wins out, as well as some fantastic performances, but its focus is questionable, and gone are the optimistic themes and positive messages.
It takes guts climbing back in that ring, knowing you're gonna take a beating.
It's over. You can tell it's over till it's over.
Where's that from? The 80s?
That's probably in the 70s.
Rocky Balboa.
After years in retirement, Rocky has started a business in a restaurant, but the love of his life has sadly passed away. When a sports show simulates a fight between him and the current champion, everyone starts to wonder, could he win? This all leads to an inevitable one last fight, which is shot and filmed like a real boxing match for the very first time. Rocky Balboa feels like a return to what made Rocky work. It's grounded, it's gritty, it's believable, and Stallone feels more real and likeable yet again. At his age, it was also very impressive to see him don the gloves one last time, and like the first movie, it was never really about winning.
This guy just don't want to win, you know. He wants to bury you, he wants to humiliate you. He wants to prove to the whole world that it was nothing but some kind of a freak the first time out.
After losing to Apollo Creed but going the distance, Rocky is granted a rematch. Meanwhile, he starts to experience the life of a celebrity, spending his money and enjoying his life. Perhaps a little too much. This film starts to push things, adding in flares of style here and there, and a subplot with Adrian that feels very convenient to the story. Rocky 2 is all about the rematch though, and this is where Rocky really makes a name for himself.
A great fighter once said, "It ain't about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward."
After Rocky called it a day, the franchise had to find a new way of continuing. Enter Creed, the son of Apollo Creed. Creed is a modern, gritty reboot of sorts for the Rocky franchise, in which Sylvester Stallone's Rocky is brought in to train the young, eager Michael B. Jordan and make him the champ his father would be proud of. Creed returns to the more dramatic storytelling of the earlier films and makes Creed and his love interest an immediately likeable couple, just like Rocky and Adrian. Stallone is back once again, facing a very different fight this time, one that felt unnecessary, and as a cancer survivor myself, very unrealistic. A grounded, gritty tale of a loan shark and boxer given the opportunity of a lifetime. The first Rocky boasts fantastic characters and a small budget. It pushes that budget to its absolute limits, cutting corners and making alterations where needed. At the centre of the film is Sylvester Stallone's Rocky Balboa, a lovable, not so intelligent man who falls in love with a pet store worker. It results in the champion, Apollo Creed, giving Rocky a shot. Nobody thinks he can do it, not even Rocky himself, but all Rocky wants is to go the distance, and while he loses in the end, he proves himself by fulfilling his goal, going the distance and embracing his love Adrian. Rocky is a well-made film with a powerful story and amazing characters. It sticks the landing and sends its message, not lingering on afterwards. And those are the Rocky films, ranked from worst to best in my opinion. Let me know what your ranking would be in the comments down below, and of course subscribe to this channel for more content like this. Until next time, thanks for watching.